mean, Grand Rising. We don't say good morning. Grand Rising. We don't want to put morning on anybody. Grand Rising. Hey, hi Leon, Edna, Deandra, Unique. How y'all doing? We'll wait for some more people. Wait, I scratch my ear. Gonna wait for some more people to come on in. Hello, some of my members, paid members are here. Grand Rising. Hi Ken. Hi, is that Nitty? Victor, Sean, your brother Andrew. Andrew. Hi Tony. Whoa. Like I said in one of those other videos I did the other day, it was 4 of them. The Lord said May, June, July. And then yesterday, he told me from 30 to 90 days from yesterday. So yesterday was the 13th, right? From 30 to 90 days from yesterday, the market was going to be way better. But he also told me that food is about to skyrocket. It has already skyrocketed, but it's about to skyrocket more. So if you haven't stocked up on your favorite stuff, favorite meats, and beef is about to go up. Right. So if you haven't stocked up on your favorite foods and favorite stuff, now is the time to do that, because the food is going to skyrocket, but it's not going to last a long time. It's going to be a temporal time, maybe a couple of months, maybe to the end of the year. But and he said, especially fruits and veggies are going to skyrocket. So we can't really stock up on fresh fruits and veggies. But like, I don't eat canned goods. The only canned goods I might eat is those Glory collard greens and those Glory turnip greens, and it's called Glory string beans. Every blue moon, I will eat those. Those are the only canned goods I will eat. So I guess I'll have to stock up on some of them, because I've always eaten fresh vegetables. I don't even like frozen vegetables, but I'll eat certain frozen vegetables I'll eat. So, but I already stocked up. I don't have no room for nothing no more. In fact, I need to donate some. But Daddy told me to keep it. He said, because I was about to donate some stuff out of my freezer to the food bank, because I went there last week and bought food, but this week and Daddy was like, and 2 times, and I kept telling a friend of mine, like, every time I get ready to go in my freezer to donate some food, I just feel this pull not to do it. So I finally asked God, and God was like, you're gonna need it. I said, you mean I'm gonna need it? I'm good. He was like, food is about to go sky high. So he said, keep what you have so you won't have to go and buy anything else. And I'm like, okay. So I was telling my friend about it. And she was like, oh goodness, I gotta go stock up. So, but it's not gonna last long. It might be a couple of months or to the end of the year, but foods are about to go up. Fruit, especially. I saw avocados in a dream. I don't know why I saw oranges and apples. I saw the avocados, I saw oranges and apples, and I saw like a couple of other vegetables. I think it was like string beans. I'm not sure. It might have been those green onions, but it's all types of different onions. So that kind of stuff you really can't stock up on, because that stuff only lasts for like a week or two. And they say you shouldn't put onions in your refrigerator, but I do. But I got a fruit storage thing, but it got other stuff in it. You know what I mean? So I keep my onions in the refrigerator. I try and use them up, but sometimes you'll forget they're in there and they'll start growing green things. So then that's the time you have to throw them away. But like far as your meats in the freezer and stuff like that, you could stock up on your seasonings. You could get you some butter, put it in the freezer. You could get you biscuits, put those in the freezer. Croissants, you could put those in the freezer. Stock up on some bread, you could put that in the freezer. Your kid's favorite candy, you could put that in the freezer. What else can you put in the freezer? Sure, you can put anything in the freezer. I already told y'all how to do eggs. Get a muffin pan, put the little muffin cup in there, crack the egg, put it in there, let it freeze. Then put them in those freezer bags, and you got you some eggs. But I don't really eat eggs. I eat the egg whites, and they're like $2 and some change cheaper than eggs. I only keep eggs because I bake or something, but I like the egg whites. They're cheaper. Yeah. How do I so to you? I really need to. Oh, you just go to my lives videos, like like the one I just did Monday, and it'll have my PO box on there. It'll have my Cash App and my PayPal. But my Cash App is $ Yahweh YAHUA. Okay. $Yahweh Elohim. $Yahweh Elohim. And if you want to PayPal, you could go to www.get-to-heaven.com. And you'll see the PayPal. Hold on. Toward the middle right. Where's my moderators? Put my stuff up. Okay, I see 2 moderators. Why y'all ain't getting to work? Rara, Myra, and unique finds. Okay, so somebody's getting to work. Okay, all right. Food already hot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's getting hot. Okay, guys, it's official. I'm having a conference. It's going to be in July, but you're not going to get the date unless you pay a ticket or you help to donate to pay for the catering. Okay, because the hotel the rooms are paid for. Okay, it's going to be on Saturday and Sunday, but I'm going to be setting up stuff on that Friday. And I already ordered the stuff for the conference. I got half my books. So I'm ready. So it will be in July, but you're not getting the dates unless you donate $70 or more or pay for your ticket, which is $70, and then you'll get the information. And if the hotel rooms is because the hotels have gone up a lot since last time. If they're too expensive, there's other hotels like literally 2, 3, 4 minutes away from where I'm gonna have the conference at that you could stay at. That's what other people did before. Hold on, y'all. I can't take the call. I knew she's gonna call me when I get on here. Hold on, let me see if I could text. No, I can't text. She'll call her later. You could do that, right? So you'll need to come in Friday evening, right? So you'll be paying for Friday night and Saturday night if you stay until Sunday, right? Some people, about 20 people left on Sunday because it was a storm. But I mean, people may still leave again on Sunday because they may have to go back to work that Monday, but if you leave that Sunday, you're going to miss a lot, because the last time I prophesied to everybody there, Daddy was casting out demons, you miss stuff. So if you come to this and you pay your $70, you at least stay Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. Or you could come in Saturday morning because the conference will start at 9. Then you pay for Saturday night and Sunday night, however you want to do it. And I only have 65 tickets because the room only holds 72 people. And I got to get an extra table for that because normally they only give you 8 tables. So I got to get an extra table so I could hold 72 people. So 65 tickets left because 7 is gone already. They gone already. A whole family of 4, they was on it. Then you got me and Pat, because me and Pat got to have a seat so we could eat. And then, the guy who's doing the video recording, he's got to have a seat. So it's 65 tickets left. So you might want to get your tickets as soon as possible. And if you want to bring somebody with you, get a ticket for them too. So, and I'm not giving out any free seats this year because I'm only fitting 72 people in there, and I gave away a lot of free stuff last year. You know what I mean? So, and I'm giving away gifts this year. Like everybody had a pretty gold bag full of stuff. and I'm doing raffles so everybody could get something, you know. So can't give out no free seats this year. So the 65 people that come, you got to be paid people. All right. So you can start donating today. You can say, Apostle, this Cash App is my $70 for my ticket to the conference, or this PayPal is for my ticket to the conference. Or if you donate $70 or more toward the catering, you can say, Apostle, this is toward the catering, and you'll get a seat, a ticket. So when you PayPal me in the PayPal box, you gotta leave your full name, your city and state where you're from, and your phone number. Full name, city and state where you're from, and your phone number. Cash App, if you can fit it in there, fine. If not, there's going to be an email for y'all to be able to email me and say, Apostle, here's my screenshot. And then I'll check. And then you have your full name, your city and state, and your phone number. And then you will get an email back with the conference code, the conference address, conference dates. Okay? And you'll get a code where you get the discount off of the room, but the rooms are a little pricey. You know, so that, but I'm gonna give you two names of two other hotels in the area that's a little cheaper. I tried to get another hotel, which the hotel rooms was cheaper, but they taking too long, and you have to get now is the best time to book a conference room because down here in Georgia they go fast. I was shocked she had the dates that I wanted, because last year I booked it the end of I think the mid-April into April, so I couldn't get those dates. But she said you came just in time. She said because after the end of March, those dates wouldn't be available, and I got a big discount, you know, off of the conference rooms, you know. So I praise God for that, you know. So y'all got plenty of time. What's this? March 14th. You got April, May, June. You got like almost 4 months to, you know, pay for your ticket, get your flight, or if you're going to drive down here. But I recommend you don't take your time with the tickets, because there's only 65 left, and they could go kind of fast, because last year I was finished in 10 weeks with the tickets, so it's only 65, so y'all better get on it. This is confirmation, June, that I was shopping in my... Whoa, that's a lot of money for some groceries. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Happy Sabbath, happy Sabbath. God bless you. Do you have a link tree? Yes, I have a link tree. It's under my lives. All you got to do is go to my lives and look in my box, and you'll see my link tree. You'll see both of my Amazon links, and you'll see both of my Barnes & Noble's links. They're all there. Just go under my lives. They're under my videos, other videos, but they're definitely under all my lives, like the last live I did Monday. Okay. I don't tell my age. Who's that, Violet? I don't tell my age. I keep my age to myself. I keep my birth date to myself, because people wicked and evil. I don't even celebrate birthdays. They pagan. I wrote about that. Grand Rising, Baruch. Well, if you're ready to pay, then pay. But if you go through Cash App, how we got? Okay, you know, the email that we used last year is my business email, which is under my live. So that's the email y'all use when y'all ouch, his glasses. When y'all pay on your Cash App, or you pay on your PayPal and you forget to put your name and your city and state and phone number, go to that email, which is the Royal Queen. It's the Royal Queen Topic Show 88 at yahoo.com. The Royal Queen Topic Show 88 at yahoo.com. It's under my lives. You'll see it. You email me your screenshot that you paid through PayPal, Cash App, and I'll check it. And then I will send you back. I'm going to start sending the information out tomorrow to people, right? You get the information and 1 or 2 names of other hotels that you might could stay at if the conference hotel is too expensive. Okay, and I'll email you the code, conference code, the address, and dates. Okay, so use that email because I know you probably ain't gonna be able to fit everything with the Cash App and PayPal. People be forgetting. So don't forget when you pay or donate, email me with your name, city, state, and phone number and screenshot. And then you get all the information starting tomorrow. Because I ain't going to be able to do all that today. Is Trump related to... I don't know. Why are you asking me that? I don't know who Trump related to. Do his family tree. You could Google it. I don't know what Trump family line is like. You look, psychic. People think I'm a psychic or something. I'm a prophet. Prophets don't know everything. God does not tell me Trump's lineage. God don't want to overload his prophets. Do you know if he told us stuff like that, our brains would be overloaded? If you want to know his lineage and who he related to, you go do your Google search yourself. Because you can find that out because he's a public person. So I'm sure they have some of his lineage out there. So you could go and look. I don't need my head veil. I'm not prophesying or praying today. We talking about tariffs and worldly views. We're not talking about, I'm not prophesying or praying. And then I prayed anyway and asked God to cover me. But I'm not prophesying or praying today. All right, so let's get started. Oh, I have no idea when they're ending. Thank you. Hey, Sister Alicia. Yeah, you can pay now. I'll be sending out the information tomorrow. Like probably afternoon, 12 noon tomorrow. I'll be sending people the information. But you gotta email me at the Royal Queen Show. Wait, what is it? Can y'all put my email in here? What is it? It's the Royal Queen Topic Show 88 at yahoo.com. But Alicia, Serena, whoever on here, put that email up so people can see it. Hey, little sister Serena, put that email up so people can see it. Hi, Frank. Hey, Kay Maria. What's the Cash App? Oh, the Cash App is $YAHUAHELOHIM. But make sure you put in the Cash App is for the conference. And if you do it from PayPal, make sure you put conference. And then email me your full name, city and state and phone number. And then you get the information tomorrow afternoon. Can somebody put up my email? Where y'all at? Alicia, Maya, Serena, put up my email. Y'all should know about heart by now. Economics Day. What do you mean Economics Day? What do you know? Boy, bye. Hold on. Block his butt. Yeah, full name, city and state, and phone number. I still don't see nobody put. Okay, somebody did it. Finally, Alicia. Hey, Miss Baker. Miss Baker, you was one of the ones that was supposed to get the $25 for lunch in the members only thing. And I asked you to verify your name because they had a couple of them with no picture and you never did it. So I had to give it to somebody else. That's the second time you won something and you did not respond to me and I had to give it to somebody else because your name is a long, unique name and it was 2 or 3 other people and they had no pictures. So I put your name in for you to confirm and you never came back. So I had to give it to somebody else. That's the second time you did that. You be missing your blessings. You need to check when I put stuff out there and you may be one of the people to get it. You need to come back and check because you missed it. Hi, Lachelle. But like, I'm not answering those questions today. Sorry. I came here to talk about tariffs and worldly views. That's it. Not praying, not prophesying. You thought, why? Take a woosah moment. Why would you think it was a scam, Miss Baker? It was under the membership. Who has access to that except me and YouTube? So how was that a scam? When I put under the members only, the first 5 that answer get lunch tomorrow for $25. How in the world? What you been drinking? How in the world would you think, Miss Baker, that was a scam? That's why you lost, because the devil scammed you. The devil scammed you. That's why you lost. You got scammed. The devil made you think it was a scam when you couldn't even use your logical sense and say, well, look, it's under the membership. It's got to be apostle. The devil scammed your butt. Lord have mercy. I tell you, I pray for you, Miss Baker. I really pray for you. I do. I pray for Miss Baker, y'all. Pray for her in Yeshua's name. Lord, thank you. Okay, look, I'm going to tell you how tariffs really started. Then you're going to understand. All right. Now, while tariffs is a concept that have existed for centuries, tariffs have existed for centuries. Tariff, you've been drinking something wrong too. Who that? LPT. You've been drinking something wrong too. I mean, come on now. I'm trying not to say stuff that could hurt your feelings, but I mean, really, it says right under there, Rosalind Solomon's members only. How is that a scam? Come on, don't be stuck on stupid. That's right, I'm saying it, Daddy. Stuck on stupid. Look at the thing. It says Rosalind Solomon's membership. How in the world does that say scam? And then you see all the other members underneath it answering. And it looks like a skip. That's being stuck on stupid. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Y'all know I'm real. And I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feeling. But that's stuck on stupid. It really is. Y'all need to check yourself, you two. You really need to check yourself. I can't stand nonsense. I don't like nonsense. And I don't like foolish people. Y'all trying to make me, you know what? Y'all trying to play me. You know what? God, give me woosah moment. I can't stand no nonsense people, and I can't stand when people play stupid and foolish, try and make me look stupid and foolish. I don't like that. And if you want to unfollow me, go right ahead. I could care less, because I don't like that. Come on now. How you going to sit there and say it's a scam? And you see my doggone name there, and you see everybody else leaving comments. Y'all trying to play me or something? I don't like that. Get to stepping. I could care less. Go on and subscribe. I don't like that. And I'm not tolerating that. Ridiculous. I see my moderators are at work. All right, so listen. So tariffs have been around a long time. Tariffs have been around a long time. And wait, the Lord just told me to say this. Miss Baker, he told me to ask you, if you thought it was a scam, why did you leave your Cash App? The Lord just told me to ask you, oh Baker, if you thought it was a scam, then why did you leave your Cash App? See, y'all trying to make me look foolish. Y'all trying to make me look stupid. It ain't working. You gonna get got every time. You gonna get embarrassed every time. Don't play. You don't play with the servants of the Most High. God will embarrass you. He will embarrass you. You thought it was a scam, but you left your Cash App. All right, so now tariffs have been around for centuries. And I didn't know that because Daddy told me to go and research it. Tariffs have been around for centuries. This man named Alexander Hamilton, he was the first United States Secretary of the Treasury. And he is widely credited with advocating for the use in the United States to protect domestic industries and generate revenue for our federal government. Now, before this Secretary of State, the first Secretary of State of Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, We didn't have tariff, but Britain was controlling America. Like if Britain didn't like something that America did, they would block America from getting their imports. So Britain controlled America's importing for centuries. So when they would get mad at America or America wouldn't buck to what they wanted, they would stop goods from coming into our country. So this man, Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of Treasury, came up with the idea for us to start having tariffs. So actually, tariffs are good for us, right? It brings in revenue to the country. It brings in revenue to help fund the federal government. So when they tell you the government is running out of money, they lying to you behind. Because as long as they got tariffs, well, maybe that's true because, you know, we wasn't really charging high tariffs to everybody, but everybody was charging us high tariffs, making us go bankrupt. So now Trump is like, nah, that's not happening no more. We gonna be charging y'all just like y'all charging us because our government needs federal funding. So now everybody got so spoiled and so used to taxing us tariffs, absorbent tariffs, and they got so used to us not taxing them hardly anything anymore, they got spoiled. So now Trump is trying to make things right again. He's trying to bring it back to when this Alexander Hamilton started it, and these countries, they don't like it. You know, when you keep spoiling somebody for years and years and years and you back up, they're going to react. They're going to be vicious. They're going to be monsters. And that's what we're seeing, right? So now, Alexander Hamilton strongly believed that tariffs were critical for the development of America's manufacturing and breaking the nation's dependence on Britain's trade and manufacturing. So so tariff keeps jobs. Like the men at the port that put the stuff on the ship, the people who drive the ship, the people who unload the ship. That brings in money to keep people working. It also helps to build manufacturers. It also helps to build ports here in America. If we didn't have tariffs, we could not maintain the ports. If we did not have tariffs, and I don't even know how America has been maintaining the ports. I don't know how America has been maintaining the ships. I don't know how America has been maintaining the labor workers because we barely charge these countries anything in tariffs before Trump came. And they charge us exorbitant tariffs. So I don't even know how America has been making it all this time. If you do your research like I did, you will wonder how our nation has been standing and how our nation is still number one. I think it's because of oil and stuff like that. So if we didn't have any tariffs at all, the ports would collapse. Our ports would collapse. Manufacture would collapse. And there'd be no money to pay the labor workers. So the little bit of money, the little bit of tariffs that our country has been getting is what's been keeping us afloat. And these other countries have been charging us absorbent prices because our dollar is the hardest currency on the planet. Besides the euro and then the won. Our currency is the hardest and most valuable. So they double our tariffs because they think that we can afford it because we have hard currency. I'm like, what? Oh, yes, they do. I used to date a guy that worked at the port. Shoot, that man was making $50 an hour. And this was like 20 years ago. They was making longshoremen. He was making some good money. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you don't get paid that much, but the longshoremen do. Right? Uh-huh. And then now, the Tariffs Act of 1789. This when tariffs started coming here. It's called the Tariff Act of 1789. As a key component of the Tariff Act of 1789, the Treasury guy Hamilton argued that tariffs would not only provide revenue, but also protect burgeoning America's industry from foreign competition. So we have tariffs so that we can compete with other countries. But our tariffs were so low. This is why China is like #1 with products. Because our tariffs are so low and America stopped making stuff. The Secretary Hamilton also reported on the manufacturers. In his 1791 report on the subject of manufacturers, Hamilton's further elaborated on the benefits of high tariffs for enabling American industries to grow. So back in the day, our tariffs were just as high as China, Britain, all of our tariffs was just as high. You know who brought them down? Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt. Reagan. Democrats. Demi-rats. And some Republicans, but mostly demi-rats, brought the tariffs down. But China and all the other countries never brought theirs down for us. But our country, our government brought our tariff taxes down to make it better for other nations. But the other nations never brought theirs down for us. Ain't that something? I gotta scratch my nose. I'm sorry, y'all. Ain't that something? They never brought them down for us. Okay. Now, early United States economic policy. Hamilton arguments shaped the pattern of American economic policies until the end of World War II, and his program created the conditions for rapid industrial development. So the reason why we have a robust industrial development in this country is because of that Secretary Hamilton guy. He came up with the tariffs. Also, tariffs and excise taxes were authorized by the United States Constitution. It's in our Constitution. And recommended by the first United States Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, in 1789 to tax foreign imports and set up low excise taxes on whiskey and a few other products to provide the federal government with enough money to pay their own government. So the government people that work for the government, including the president, he's getting paid from tariffs. What? Who knew? If you don't do your research, you'll never know this. I'm going to read it to you again. Secretary of Treasury Alexander Hamilton in 1789 taxed foreign imports and set up low excise taxes on whiskey. That's why taxes on whiskey is low, and Trump is threatening to raise it to 200 because he can, right? And on whiskey and a few other products to provide the federal government with enough money to pay for their own government. So yeah, so these people getting paid in the government, they're not, in our president, they not just getting paid from tax money. Maybe only 25%, 35% come from our tax money. The rest come from the revenue of the tariffs. This is why Trump is raising the crap out of them tariffs, because these foreign lands been getting over on us. When Democrats and some Republicans got in office, they lowered the tariffs. They lowered it to make it convenient and better for other nations to do business with them, but other nations did not lower theirs for us. So now Trump like, yo, wait a minute. This is unbalanced. This ain't right. We always having government shutdowns. We ain't got no money. We gonna raise these tariffs back up like Alexander Hamilton did in his act in 1789. Do you know President Trump is only doing what was already done? And people getting mad at him, blaming him, but Daddy, did say he was going a little too far with certain things. He was. But, and he's in the way he's going about it with the tariffs, he's crashing the economy. But the Lord said from 30 to 90 days from yesterday's date, things was going to get better in the market and even in the economy, but you're still going to have high inflation and high food prices and stuff. And liquor going to go up because those tariffs on liquor is going to come to pass. It may not be 200%, but he's going to raise it because the tariffs is very low on liquor. And do you know how much liquor comes into this country? People depend on America to buy liquor. So he's only doing what was already done. And it was lucrative and it was good for our nation in 1789 until some of the Democrats and Reagan and them lowered the tariffs. Then it made it bad for us. It made it unbalanced because those presidents wanted to do a lot of business with China, Britain, and all these other places, right? So they negotiated to lower tariffs, but the other countries didn't lower theirs. So Trump is only fixing what was supposed to be fixed. He's making wrongs right again. So y'all can't get really mad at him. You know, he just going a little too far, like Daddy said. So, you know, just pray, you know. But he's only doing it because he's bringing back what was already done. They began to pray for a while. What are we talking about? President Trump comes from a family. Okay, yeah. All right, so now you understand about tariffs. Now, during the war of 1812, what is that? Yeah, 1812, the British Navy prevented goods from coming to America's shores. As a result, Americans manufactured their own products. So Britain was monsters to our nation. Britain was monsters to our nation. They would block our goods and everything. So America, whoever was president at that time, made it where we start making our own goods. And I remember when I was a little girl, on the back of my shirt on the tag, it would say Made in America. So at that time, America was making their own goods so that Britain wouldn't block us anymore. So, because every time Britain couldn't have their way with America, they would block our goods, our food and everything. What? So America was like, okay, we're going to start making our own products so Britain can't block us no more. Why do you think UK, Britain, and Germany so doggone cursed today? Because America was blessed by God back then. It still is, but it was really blessed back then. This is why a lot of these nations, China, Dubai, all these places are having problems, bad weather, bad destructions, collapses, impoverishment, because they're being judged for how they treated America, because America was the only Christian nation and God was sovereign in America. So you wondering why your nation is getting it. You wonder why Australia gonna get it. You wonder why China gonna get it. You wonder why Japan gonna get it. You wonder why the Indonesian islands gonna get it. Because of how they treated this country at one point in time. Judgment may not come when it's supposed to, but it will come when it needs to. So now you understand why a lot of these countries are getting it. Because of how they treated this country. We were God's country back then. Our country was founded on the Christian forefathers. Either some of them was Masons, it's true, but a lot of them were Christians. So now you understand why a lot of these countries are getting what they're getting. And God is using Trump to make it right, but Trump is, he's getting a little arrogant there, and he's got that doggone Elon Musk in his ear, and those oligarch billionaires in his ear. He would just get them out of his ear and just pay attention to God and get some real, true, fruitful people around him instead of these fake prophets. You know what I mean? He would get a lot more accomplished. So basically, God is trying to give us another chance. God is trying to give America another chance. Like I told you, he's trying to make the wrongs right. He's trying to give us another chance. He doesn't want to destroy us. He doesn't want to destroy any lands. But he definitely don't want to destroy us because we was built on a foundation of Christianity, right, from him. So he does not want to destroy this land. So he's trying to give us a chance through Trump. But y'all keep fighting the man. Instead of fighting him, pray for him. Instead of hating him, pray for him. Pray that that seat he sit in, which belongs to the devil, does not belong to the devil anymore. Pray that that presidential seat goes to God. Pray that God remove all these oligarchs and these big old billionaires and Elon Musk, if need be, from around him and put people around him who God want around him. So he could do right. So God won't take his crown from him. Yeah, and you see how that Canadian president, the new one too, I told you they was going to get rid of the other one. Talking about they don't need us. If America pulled back from Canada, Canada would collapse. We are the ones that's holding Canada up. You see that 200 million a year they get. We are the ones holding that land up. If we removed ourselves from Canada, don't think that some foreign country would not come and get them. And they sitting up on TV, we don't need America. We're gonna turn their grids off because a million people are connected to our grids. Go, you try it. Try it, Canada. Try and turn them million people lights off and see what our president do to your butt. Trump is not one to be played with. I ain't crazy about him, but I can tell you his personality. He's crazy. And he is not to be played with. So Canada thinks that they can turn a million people stuff off and don't get retaliation. And Canada making y'all think they don't need us, but Canada is backed by the USA. And if Trump pulled his backing from them, some foreign land will come and get their butt. You talk about Canada will never be part of America. You already is, because we taking care of y'all butts. Do your research. You'll find that out. So don't be listening to that smack that Canadian president is talking. He talking smack. That's to put fear in American people. That's to make American people want to go against Trump. America got to wake up. America's some of the stuck on stupidest people I've ever seen in my life. I told Daddy that. I said, America's stuck on stupid, Daddy. They stuck on stupid. They got their answers right in front of them and they can't even see it. And they want to love everybody else, take up for everybody else, but don't want to love each other or take up for each other. Want to kill each other, hate each other, riot, tear up your cities, tear up your states, tear up your stores. And then when it's all said and done, you ain't got no stores left. Don't nobody want to come and invest in your state because you're tearing it up. Don't make no sense. So America should go back to making their own stuff. That way China won't be taken over. You go around your house and tell me you don't have something in your house made from China. You see these plates that I got on my dining room table? China. You see this gold silverware? China. You see these golden cups? Porcelain? China. Everything's made from China. That should not be. We are Americans. Our house should not be 10%, 20%, 25% of China's products. We should have our made in America like we had before. America has gotten so lazy and trifling. They've gotten so lazy and trifling. They don't want to make their own stuff no more. Even my own products, when I had my glory oil business, which I'm gonna revive one day, all to get nice what do you call them? Spray bottles and stuff like that. Too expensive on Amazon. Had to go to China to get them. Had to go to China to get them. That should not be. So America has made stuff so expensive in this country, you have to go to China and other countries to get stuff cheap. Makes no sense. Like a purse in France, Givenchy perfume. I used to wear Givenchy perfume. It's one of the most expensive perfumes out there, right? Let's say one little bottle was like $100 here in America. But do you know you can go over there where it's made at and probably get it for $25? So why is it $75 more? Tariffs. High tariff that we are charged to bring that stuff in. Now we're bringing their stuff in to sell their stuff here, and we're being taxed high. Then it's coming in here, we're being taxed again. So we're being double taxed. We're paying tariffs, then we're paying tax. Sometimes you're being triple taxed. Why is that happening to us? That should not happen. That should not happen. Just like crypto made in America. Why do we have to pay taxes on crypto? Well, we haven't yet because they postponed it to next year because of Trump. But why would they be contemplating making us pay taxes on crypto made in America? It's made in America. Why should Americans have to pay taxes? Any crypto that's made outside of America, you will pay taxes on, but it would be way lower than what they wanted. But Trump said any crypto made in this country, we won't pay taxes. And you want to know why he's doing that? Because it's made in America. And who are we? Who are we? We are citizens of America. So the citizens of America should not be paying taxes on anything made in America, because this is your country. This is where you were born. Your names are in caps, meaning you're a corporation. You're a separate entity in the entity and corporation of America. So you should not be paying taxes on anything made in America. Only things made outside of America. Do your history and research. You'll learn this. So our government is double, triple taxing us when they should not be doing it all. Do you know the IRS is illegal? That's why Trump getting rid of it. Because we should not be taxed, because we are separate corporate entities within a corporate conglomerated entity. When they put your names in caps like they do ours on the stock market thing, that means you're an entity. You're a separate entity, a separate corporation within a mass of corporations, conglomerate corporation. You should not be. Why you think Trump don't pay taxes on his money he get? What is it, $500,000 a year as a president? He don't pay taxes on that. Why you think, what's her name, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and all them, they don't pay taxes? Because they're entities of a bigger corporation. We ain't supposed to be paying them neither. This is why Trump can get rid of federal taxes, because it's in the books. It's in the law. If you are an entity of the bigger entity, if you are a corporation of the bigger corporation, you should be exempt from all federal taxes and actually state. But they're not going to exempt you from the state, because the state needs to keep the streets up, needs to keep the government buildings up, needs to pay the maintenance people. So, and one day, many states are going to become sovereign anyway. So they're going to need your state taxes to keep them sovereign. And Trump knows this. He knows this. This is why he tried to fire half of the federal government. Because there's so much dirty people in the federal government. And he wanted to put new people in there that he knew would contribute to the country, to the government. But it's 22 programs he's abolishing. The Supreme Court allowed him to abolish 16 of them. There are 6 that they will not allow, which is the federal governments. He got to give them their jobs back. And a couple of other places, he got to give them their jobs back. But the IRS and all these other 16 programs, the Supreme Court is allowing him to do what he needs to do. You know, so basically, America has been fleeced, taken advantage of, fleeced, all kinds of stuff they done did to us. And he's just trying to make it right. He's just trying to bring money back into our pockets. He really is. And America has gotten so broken and so stuck on stupid and so lazy and spoiled, they don't want to make their own products no more. They don't want to do these little mom and pop businesses. They don't want to do business anymore. They don't want to do what it takes to bring our country back. They've gotten so dependent on China and Japan and all these other places giving us imports to the point where they don't care anymore. They don't care if we become a better sovereign nation. They don't care if we get back on top. They don't care. You know, and all you see on these YouTubes and TikTok is people complaining about how they sleeping in their car, like that En Vogue singer, been in her car for 3 years, right? That's all you see. And you see videos about people being homeless and this and that, right? They just complaining, but you're not doing nothing to make your situation better. If you want to stop homelessness in America, then let our president do what he's supposed to do. Pray against arrogancy and and pride and puffiness, and get rid of people around him and replace good people around him. But let him do what he's supposed to do. Because the only way, do you know America has more homelessness than most nations except for Africa now? And I told y'all 5 years this was coming. So if you want to get rid of homelessness in this country, you have to make America great again. You have to make America great like it was in 1913. You have to bring it back to 1789 where the tariffs started. You have to bring it back to after 1812 when the World War II ended. You have to bring the things back in order to beat homelessness. And so, okay, like all the money that was going to these different countries, he stopped it, right? Now, how you going to send Canada $200 million every year when your own backyard and front yard is dirty? How is America supporting all these other countries cleaning their backyards and their front yards, and your backyard and your front yard is filthy? You got buku people homeless on the streets, cannot eat, cannot feed themselves, taking kids out of school because they can't clothe them to take them to school, sending their kids to school hungry because they ain't got no money to give them breakfast, lunch, or dinner. But yet you sending $200 million to Canada. You sending money to Great Britain. You sending money to Germany. They can't stand us. And Canada can't stand us. You sending money to all these Arab lands and they want to kill us. You sending money to Israel. Israel could care less about us. They just want to use us. And they're not even the real Israel. Okay. You sending all this money to Africa. But yet Africa is still poor. You sending this money to countries you never even heard of before. But yet your front yard and your backyard is filthy. What's wrong with America? I could tell you. Our government. That's where it starts. We've had a filthy, rotten, stinking, dirty government for since like the 1700s, 1800s. And then the president came in 1913 to clean it up. Then the treasury man came in 1789 to clean it up. Abraham Lincoln came to clean it up. Kennedy came to clean it up. What happened? They assassinated the both of them. Clinton was trying, but then they got him with that Lewinsky girl. Bushes ain't never did jack. What did Obama do? Nothing. Do you know Obama was the one that started the Doge program? Y'all think Elon Musk started it. Y'all think Trump started it. Nah, Trump just enacted it. Your president that you love so much, that's right, Slick Willie. He the one developed Doge. And you want to know why he didn't do nothing with it? Because they told him he better not. When Obama first got in office, he was for us. He was for the copper people. He was about to do some serious damage and clean some stuff up for us. But they told him, you better not. So he scrapped Doge, but he never got rid of it. He never got rid of it. He kept it. Trump came and got it. So y'all think Elon thought of this? No. Your ex-president Obama did. And he was about to light it up for black folks, but they told him, you better not, or they'll be held to pay. So he scrapped it, but he never got rid of it. And here come little white lily boy Trump. White lily boy Elon. And they done took it and ran with it. And y'all think they developed it? Do your research. Obama did. Obama did. Oh, he did use it against gay marriages? Yeah, but they stopped him from doing that because he started getting on the gay people's side. They threatened him. They said, you better not. He started out good. But when they threatened him, he shifted the other way. He shifted the other way. I don't know what they used to threaten his butt, but he shifted the other way. So that kind of made me like him just a little bit. I said, Daddy, because I'm not crazy about Obama. But when I researched and I found that out, I was like, okay, I like him a little bit. But Daddy, he didn't stay the stance. He didn't stay the stance. He was supposed to do a lot for us, but he didn't stay the stance because they threatened him. And he just squashed it. And here come Trump, Lily Trump, and Lily Elon, and they picked it right on up and ran with it. Elon is only being used for a short time by God, because I had two visions of him and Trump having a falling out and separating. And it was by the hand of God. So don't get fooled by Elon. He is an antichrist system worker. The Lord showed me that and has told me that many times. Do not trust Elon Musk. He is for the antichrist system. Don't trust him. He put neural links in people's heads. Don't do that. He making robots, but telling you how robots is going to take our jobs and damage our lives, but yet you making them. God only using him for a time and a being, and then God gonna throw him away like a wet paper towel when he finish. Do not be fooled by him. He is straight up antichrist. Straight up. I told y'all years ago, before Trump even became president, that he was going to be connected to someone that's connected to the Antichrist system. That is Elon Musk. I done told y'all that. And I ain't the only one that God done told that to. Yes, that's true. Who said that? Amanda? Yes, many kings did start out good in the Bible. King Hezekiah started out good. King Saul started out good. King David started out good, you know, and they can fall. You know, some of them God got back and some of them he didn't. Yeah, he can't be trusted at all. I mean, God, let me tell you something. Look how God used King Saul. He knew King Saul could not be trusted. He knew King Saul was a devil. He knew King Saul wanted David dead and tried many times to kill David. But God still let him be king for a reason and purpose. God used him. Look at King Hezekiah. God used him for Daniel, Meshach, and Abednego, right? And for the Israelites, taking them out of 70 years of captivity. Right, so God will look at Hosea's wife. I forget her name, Homer, whatever her name was. God used a prostitute to help Israel. God used what Haman to hang his own self and to get deliverance for Israel through the king. So God can use anybody. God used a donkey to talk to a man. Look at Saul. Saul Paul. He was killing all kinds of Christians. God blinded him and used him. He was one of the greatest apostles ever. Look at Matthew. He was a crooked old tax person and was stealing and cheating people. God used him. He was one of the most mighty apostles ever. So God can use anybody. You could be the worst person in the world. God could use you. And if he only want to use you for a time and a reason because he know you ain't going to change, or he know you're not real, or he know you really for this and for that, he'll still use you and make you think, make you get all puffed up and make you think, yeah, I got Trump. You know, I'm in a position where I'm going to be. And God will snatch you so fast, you won't even know what happened to your butt. King Solomon fell because he saw what was it, Adoniah? I forget I think his name was Adoniah. Wife Bathsheba, and she was fine. She was beautiful. She was shapely. He like, I gotta have that. You know what I'm saying, right? And so, you know, he figured out a way to get her. So he got her, right? And he slept with her, which was wrong because she was a married woman. So that was adultery right there. Number one sin. Second sin was lust, right? Third sin was he got her pregnant out of wedlock, right? Fourth sin was he called his chief soldier to put, I think it's Epinai, whatever his name was, to put him in the front so when they battled, he would be killed. Fifth sin, murderer, right? Sixth sin, having an accomplice person, which was the chief soldier, right? So then after the soldier gets killed, he covers it up, goes to snatch up Bathsheba, marry her, right? And pretend like she got pregnant when they got married, right? But the prophet Jonathan, God told King Solomon's secret. He came, he let him have it. He like, God gonna get your butt. And this baby that she carrying ain't gonna see the light of day. Baby was born, lived 7 days. King Solomon laid on the floor for 7 days, praying and fasting, and the baby still died. The baby died because the throne could not be defiled. If that baby would have lived and became a king, the throne would have been defiled for centuries because of how the baby came in. So that's why King Solomon fell. And then another reason why he fell, he was doing, like, it wasn't tariffs back then. And you could call them treaties, but they more so called them kingdom decrees and kingdom agreements, but you can call them treaties. So King Solomon was a very loving king, and he wanted to get along with everybody. He wanted all of the kingdoms to become one, regardless of their religion. So he would do these treaties with these kings, and in the treaties, the kings would offer their princesses. So he wound up having like 700 concubines and 300 something wives, right? So he agreed with all these different kings of these different nations and took a princess and married them. That was a big mistake right there, right? But God let him do it, right? And then eventually, instead of him making all his wives become Elohim children, he allowed them to build different temples. And they would go into these temples daily and perish on their God, parash on their God, praise their God. And he would watch. And he watched so much, his eyes are the window to his soul. So he watched so much to the point where their gods got into his eyes and into the window of his soul. And then he started praising them, worshiping them, harassing them. And one of the promises he made to God in the garden was, I shall never idolize another God before you. So he broke that promise. He broke that contract. That's one of the biggest reasons why he fell. And God has sympathy for him. He didn't take all 5 of his kingdoms. He took 4 and left one to his, to not his son, but his friend. And he was his best friend. And he wound up ruining that kingdom too. So that's why Solomon fell. God gave Solomon many chances. He loved Solomon. But you know, I truly believe Solomon got broken after he met the Queen of Sheba from Ethiopia, because he wanted to marry her because she was pregnant. He wanted to marry her, but they wouldn't allow him to marry her. You want to know why? How is a white lily person going to be a queen in Ethiopia, Africa in that time? Wasn't a stitch of white people in Africa when Queen Bathsheba was here. You want to know why they didn't want him to marry her? Solomon was black himself. But you want to know why they wouldn't allow him to marry her? Because in those days, they did not value queens like they value kings. Most nations had a man running it. It was very few nations that had queens. But when her father died, he had no sons. She was the only one. But what happened was, when her son became 16, which was Solomon's son, she made him heir. She gave him the kingdom. I know this because I read, boo. I read. And they didn't want him to marry her because she was a queen of another land. And they didn't think that women should be queens. And then the Tariffs, the devil got in the Tariffs, because if Solomon would have married her, guess what? She would have allowed Solomon to rule Ethiopia. Solomon would have not only been king of Israel, he would have been king of Ethiopia. How many of you know in the ancient days, kings ruled other nations besides their own? And the devil did not want Solomon ruling Ethiopia. So he got into the Pharisees and priests. And they forbade him. They said, if you marry her, we will strip you of your crown. Which they could have done. And he wasn't willing to give up his crown. But what he did was, when you do your research and read books like I do, he traveled a lot along the Nile to visit her. Stayed with her for months. He had another person ruling Israel while he stayed with her. When he was with her, she took his counsel. She allowed him to rule secretly in Ethiopia. This is why Ethiopia was so blessed by God. They were one of the richest African countries in the nation over there in Africa. They had everything over there. Every herb, spice you could think of. Gold, sugarcane, silver, pearls, jade. Why do you think she brought Solomon so much stuff? But the devil stopped Solomon from being a king over there. But when their son turned 16, she anointed him king. So Solomon was ruling because Solomon trained his son. See, they don't tell you in books that Solomon was going back and forth, helping her raise the kid, helping her with Ethiopia. That's why the son was able to become king at 16. She gave it to him. She let him rule. And her and Solomon kept seeing each other, I guess, until their time on this earth left, but they could not get married because he would lose his kingship. And he didn't want to do that. But if he would have did it, he could have went to Ethiopia and she would have made him king. But where would they have left Israel? And God did not want him to leave Israel. So God could have let the Pharisees be that way too. Right? So that's how Solomon fell. But Solomon's in heaven. The Lord told me that. Solomon's in heaven. He was forgiven in his last days. King Saul is in heaven. He was forgiven in his last days. What's his name that betrayed Jesus? What's his name? And they found all his bowels Like he hung himself from a tree. He hung himself so bad that all his bowels fell out. All his organs fell out. What was his name? Judas. He ain't have a two daddy told me. Because Judas was picked for a purpose. Judas was picked for a purpose. Before Judas came here, he agreed with God to be picked for a purpose, to be the one to bring down our Messiah. Our Messiah had to be brought down in order to be crucified. If nobody brought him down, how would he have been crucified for us? How would his blood have been able to get into the ground for us, to be spiritual for us? How would we be able to reincarnate if Yah didn't reincarnate himself? They call it resurrection, but reincarnation, right? How would those things have happened? So somebody had to betray him. So before Judas came here, Judas agreed with God to be the one to betray him. How do you think God got many Romans to come over to him? Saul Paul was one of the biggest murderers of Christians ever. God had to find somebody who was like Saul to be able to have a bridge to bring Romans. Many Romans came to God in the day. I have plenty of books and I read. Many Romans they came to God because of Saul Paul. Matthew, he was a grimy, dirty tax collector, a liar and a cheat and a thief. How could God get those kind of people? He had to get somebody that was just like them and bring them over. Stephen, 16 years old, the youngest apostle ever. How was God going to get the youth? He had to get a youth to bring the youth. If you study every apostle like I did, you will find the reasons why God brought them over. You will find the reasons why God chose them. They already made agreements with God before they came here. But when you study the apostles like I did, because they each have their own book, right? You will realize why they were chosen by God. Why do you think Yah was able to sit at the table with the derelicts, the prostitutes, the hoes, the cheaters, the liars, the adulterers? Because every one of those apostles had something like that connected to them. And because they were chosen and agreed and came with Yah, it opened up the door for Yah to go in places he might not have been able to go to. Remember his own home mistreated him. He had to run from there. You know what I mean? He came back through there. What did he do? He saved people. Some still rejected him, but he was able to save people. So if you study Yeshua and you study the apostles, you will realize why God chose these apostles. You will realize why Yah was able to do what he do. Yes, he was able to do what he do because of God's mighty power, but you got to understand something. God gave us our own will. And even when Yeshua walked this earth, he could not go against man's will. It had to be willfully given and open to him, as it is today. So every one of those apostles aligned with every place he went, every people he got, and every people he brought to God. Bet you I didn't know that. You probably never even heard this kind of teaching from anybody. I'm not being facetious or conceited. I'm just saying. You might have, but it's rare. Because most people don't do research. And if they do, they're not going to tell you. Because this type of information will liberate you. It will help you understand your apostles that walk the earth. It will help you understand God, why he is so strategic and how he carefully picks people and why he picks them. Like me, he picked me. A lot of y'all have gone through and are going through a lot of stuff I went through, especially with incubus and succubus. I see 50% of this ministry. I've dealt with people like that. How else would I be able to help them and write books if I didn't experience it myself? How would I be able to know witches the way I do if I wasn't doing it myself back in the day when I thought it was Christian? My family thought my family taught me that was Christian. And if I wasn't dealing with them when I came to God and they trying to kill me, how else would I help y'all to get delivered from it? Or write books? I had to experience it. I had to experience it. Why did God call me as an apostle? Because he called me as an apostle before he even made me. Why did he call me as a prophet? Because he made me a prophet before he even made me. He decided who I was going to be. Why am I a fivefold ministry? Because he decided before he even made me what I was going to be. Y'all don't understand. God took his time when he created each one of us. He took his time. He thought about what he gonna do with you, how he gonna make you, how you gonna live, what you gonna be, a lot of souls to you. He saw everything, bad and good. That's how much he loves us. So when you are chosen, it really means you're chosen. Whatever you're chosen for, that it means you were really chosen. God chose you before you was even made in his grinds. He spoke over you before you were even a seed in your mama's womb. He made agreements with you and contracts with you. You brought your scroll, but your skin covered it up. He knew you before you knew yourself, like the word says. No one knows you better than God. Satan don't know you no more because you knew. He only going by the old, and he be trying to study you. But he don't know the new you. How can the dead know the new you and the living? Yahushua is a dead entity. How can he know anything new about you when you come to God? God, it says he keeps you in his secret place, in his secret tabernacle. What's God's secret tabernacle? Him. What's God's secret place? Him. In him. So how is the devil going to see the new you when you hiding in God's secret place and in his secret tabernacle? How is the devil going to know you? No, he only knows the old you, and he's trying to study you to figure out some new stuff, but he can't do everything because it's not omnipresent. So that's why people need to start taking God seriously. This is why people are suffering. They're dying, they're killing themselves. They're starving, sleeping in cars, sleeping on the streets, getting snatched, being ritualized, all kind of stuff because they deny the Father. They deny the true creator. They're mixing with different entities, half-breeds this, half-breeds that. They're not taking God seriously. And I blame it on the church. I really do. Because the church don't want to teach you these kind of things. If the church taught these kind, look, these books that I've told you about, some of the books I redid, these books existed before our parents. These books existed before our grandparents, our great-great-grandparents. But yet, we in this generation are starting to find them. We are starting to develop them. We are starting to teach people, but they've been around for centuries. Why didn't the other generations before us teach them? They were there. They were available. The internet came in 1980. They started putting all this stuff on the internet. Why didn't anybody teach us this stuff back then? The devil. And this is why you see the world in the astray that it is today. This is why you see the church in the astray it is today. Because if we was taught some of the things that I teach and some of the things that others teach, we would be way better off. We would be a better church. We would be a spiritual church and not a physical church. Church is physical. They do everything in the physical. We would be a spiritual church. We would be a powerful church if we knew back then we was reincarnated. If we knew about the moon, if we knew about the sun, if we knew this wasn't right, if we knew about the matrix, if we knew the truth about the apostles, if we knew the truth about Yeshua, if we knew the truth about God, if we knew Mama Ru was Mama Ru, if we knew this, if we knew that, we would be so better off as a people and as a church. But the devil did this to us, and the church abided with him. The church abided and the church agreed with him. Knowingly or unknowingly. That's why the Bible says hell will not prevail against the church of Christ. Because God is literally telling you that hell is trying to prevail against his church. What does prevail mean? To come against. But how can you come against something? You have to infiltrate it first. You just can't come buck willy and try to come against somebody because they're going to be resistant. You have to become their friend. You have to make them comfortable. You got to get your demons in there. You got to get your sin in there. You got to get these other entities in it and mix their seeds with you. And then you prevail against the church. So the only reason why Yahushua has not prevailed against the church is because God is not allowing him. It may seem like he is, but he's not. Because he's been trying to get rid of church forever. He's been trying to get rid of the true Israelites and the ones that are adopted in forever. But he can't. We keep growing. You see all these black people dying, right? But don't you see how many coming back? You see these white folks dying, but you see they coming back. You see these Spanish people dying, but you see them coming back. Indians dying because, you know, we all interconnected now. 9 ether beings, 6 ether beings. And then another thing, like the Lord told me long ago, like in the Bible, book of Revelations, when it talks about 666, the mark of man, turn it upside down. What is it? 999 mark of man. They intervirtually turned the 9 ethers upside down and made many of 9 ethers on this planet 6 ether beings. Then by them turning the 9 upside down, making it a 6, means that the 6 ether beings would rule the world. And who's ruling the world? A lot of 6 ether beings, the white folks, Indians, Arabs. It ain't blacks. It ain't Latinos and Spaniard people. You know, although we, you know, have high positions, we ain't ruling jail. And when you try to rule, they'll kill you. So the 6 ether beings, basically the white lily people, and they're ruling. That's because Satan turned the 9 ethers upside down and made a lot of 9 ethers 6 ether beings. And he made it so the 6 ethers can rule us. Woo, you learning some Bible nuggets today, aren't you? Daddy let me teach y'all some stuff. Daddy let me teach y'all some stuff today. Bet you didn't know that. How many of y'all knew that? That's why we have 666, because the devil literally turned the 999 ether beings to 666 ether beings. And that's why it says 666 is man, the beast. We weren't never meant to be beasts. We were meant to be Israelites, Yadian people, not beasts. Why do you think they call man a beast? Because you are a beast. You've mixed so much with the beast system. You mixed so much with entities that were made within the beast system and within the matrix and antichrist system. You've made it with them so much, you become a beast yourself. Look at how many people are murdering people for no reason, ritualizing them, eating their flesh, drinking their blood, sacrificing them, using black magic and all kinds of stuff to kill people. Isn't that beast stuff? Isn't that demonic stuff? Isn't that demons? Isn't that entities? Those are beasts. This is why they call you beasts and y'all accept it. I'm like, Daddy, I ain't no beast. When I was the world, I was a beast. But I ain't no beast. I'm a Yadian. I'm a Elohim. I'm an Israelite. A true one. But they used to call us Yadians. And the copper people. There's a book that tells you that. This is called copper people. So don't accept that you're a beast. And if you're copper, ask God to turn you back to the 9999 ether from the 666 ether. But if you ain't copper and you white and other colors, you're 666 and you're going to stay that way. But God can still have mercy on you. But all of you who are truly copper people, ask God to turn you from that 666 back to that 999. I wrote a book about this stuff. I just gotta like go over and edit it and publish it. It's called The 9 Ether Beings. And it's gonna teach you a lot. And I have teachings on here about it, I think. Yeah, I did teach on it. Hopefully they weren't removed. Right? So now you understand why they changed the 9s to 6s and calls us beasts. Because their intentions was to make everybody that God created a beast. The Bible says that God has to come quickly, turn the time quickly, or else the very elect won't be saved. Why would God say that? Because he know the enemy wants to turn every one of his creation into beasts so that we can't make it back to him. If the enemy was successful in turning every last one of us into 666 beings and make us beasts, we couldn't come back to Daddy. See, the first time we fell with the enemy, we fell willfully, right? And Daddy knew that. So he opened the door for repentance. And 1/3 of the heavens did not repent, but the other 7 parts did. But see, this time, people willfully fall with the enemy. So how can God give you repentance when you willfully fell with the enemy? So when he comes and ends things, whoever with the enemy is going to be ended with him because you willfully fell with him this time. See, the first time you didn't willfully fail, you were tricked. You were tricked. You didn't know any better. So God gave you a chance. But you had to come back to this planet and learn your lesson because he didn't want any more defectors. Else he would have to wipe us all out. But this time you fell willfully and you had the remittance and the remonstrance to repent. But you didn't. So you will fall with the enemy when that time comes. The Bible says, when y'all come, you're going to find 2 men grinding in the bed. Why would God say 2 men? Oh, well, because Apostle God calls us men. He was telling you about gay men. He said he got one going to be left and one going to be taken. I already proved to y'all in the Bible, with scriptures in the Bible that says it's not going to be us that's going to be judged. It's going to be the sinners that's going to be taken up like a so-called rapture to be judged by the white throne judgment. And then one is going to be left because God sees that one is going to eventually come to him through the church that's going to be right here. 2 men grinding in the bed. Why didn't God say a woman and a man grinding in the bed? He was telling you, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Messiah. You'll find 2 in the field working. One will stay, one will go. The one that will go is the sinner that's going to be judged and thrown into the great white judgment. The other one God sees is going to come to him, so he's going to leave him or her. Because the church is going to find them, or they're going to find the church and get saved. See, these pastors don't want to teach you what these scriptures really mean. That's why God talks about gay people in Leviticus. Unforgivable sin, unless they repent. Book of scriptures in Leviticus talking about gay people shouldn't be, 2 women shouldn't be together, 2 men together. But he said they repent. No, baby, I don't speak Greek. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. I wish I could speak different languages. I used to speak French and Spanish, but it's been so long. I can't do it. Yeah, but so this is why he said you'll find 2 men grinding in the bed and 2 in the field, and one taken and one left. Because it is not us that's going to be going up into those pearly gates. It is the sinners by the great white throne judgment that God talks about in the book of Revelations. The church is going to be right here saving people that God has preserved for end times to be saved. Do you know God has preserved multitude of people for end time to be saved? Because that is where his greatest glory will come. It's all in the Bible. You just got to read. You just got to ask God to give you that wisdom to understand it. And then, research and get books and read them. Learn them. So you could learn for yourself, teach your family, teach others. What about 3 days of darkness? 3 days of darkness, that comes from like the Roman days. I mean, there is going to be darkness in the end days. That's true, right? But like I taught many times, why would you have to tape up your windows, bolt your doors, don't turn no lights on? Probably won't be no electric anyway because the grid will be out. What else? And keep your candles low. What is going to stop demons and Yadaboth and entities from coming in your house? Do you think bolting up your windows and bolting up your doors and bolting up your vents, they can't get in? Don't they walk through walls? Don't they walk through glass? Don't they come through floors? Don't people have ghosts in their house right now? How'd that ghost get in there? They keep the doors locked. How'd they get in there? Can't they come through gas pipes? Can't they come through water pipes? Can't they still come through vents and rip off the wood that you put on top of the vent, or rip off the wood or the iron that you put on your doors? You're foolish if you believe that. You're foolish if you believe that. People wake up with scars on their body from dreams. That ought to tell you, ain't nothing gonna stop them from coming in. And then they're gonna tell you, when they knock on the door, don't answer. Since when does evil knock? Since when does evil knock? They bulldoze doors. So you got to stop believing that stuff. Yes, it's going to be darkness. Of course it's going to be darkness. You know, the sun will fall. The moon will fall. You ever thought about why the sun and the moon going to fall? Because God didn't create the sun and the moon. Yaldabaoth did. This is matrix. Anything God created will not fall if he doesn't want it to fall. And when the great stars fall, it's not stars that we literally see. It's Yaldabaoth in them because they in the seventh heaven all the way down. Those are the great stars. They were once stars, and now they're fallen stars. They the one that's gonna fall. Yes, they on the earth. Yes, they under the earth. They're everywhere. But when the end time comes, they're going to be dethroned from there, and they're gonna come here, and they can't go nowhere else but here. They can't go underground. They can't go in no water. They can't go in the atmosphere. They can't go in the sky. They can't go in the spiritual realm. They will be bound to this earth. And God got every last one of them where he want them. Why do you think the Ruach is going to be the one destroying from the seventh heaven down? And Yaldabaoth is going to be destroying his kingdoms here on the earth and the ones under the earth and in the water. Why is God allowing him to destroy these kingdoms? He made them. Did God make Satan's kingdoms? Why is Mama Ru destroying from the seventh heaven down? Because she went and made Yaldabaoth, and God told her not to make no kids. God said no babies, only with me, because you can self-impregnate yourself. You're monogamous up there. She made him, and guess what she did? She made him in the sixth heaven, but he was so hideous. He was half human and half dragon. She hid him in the seventh heaven, thinking God didn't see her. And then he tricked her, and he took 60% of her powers. And she had no choice but to go back to God. And God was like, I already know what you done did. I seen everything. And I knew you were going to do it before you did it. I allowed it. She like, what? You what? Like, I allowed it. She was all battered and broken. He said, come here with your fine self. If you weren't so fine, I didn't lay you behind and we had all these doggone kids. Girl, please, come! And he fixed her. And made her even more powerful than she was before she self-impregnated with Yaldabaoth. And you want to know why Yaldabaoth came out half dragon and half human? Because God told her, you cannot make anything without me. If you make anything without me, it ain't going to turn out so good. She didn't listen. You know how women is hard-headed. That's why they call him a dragon, because he really is. He's half dragon and half human because he was not made with God. He was self-made with a God, which is a goddess, which is our mother, but not with God. So what does that tell you? Anything that does not have God's genome in it will not be 100% complete. And it may not come out right. This is why Yaldabaoth can't make us. He can make stuff to look like us, but he can't make us. Right, fire in his eyes. Because every time I see God, his eyes is full of fire. When I see Yah, his eyes are full of fire. And then sometimes they change colors. You know? Always full of fire. That's right. And you should go around, you should say that every day. Nothing's welcome in this house but Almighty Yahweh, the Holy One of Holies, Ruach, Holy of Holies, and Yeshua, Holies of Holies, and his angelic beings in his heaven. Anything else that's not of God in this house, you must go. You have no business with me. I command you to leave this house now by fire. And I ask my angels to assist me in removing you and sealing the door, changing the lock, putting the key on the throne of God where they can never enter again. Now, the only way they can enter again is if you open the door to sin. And when you open the door to sin, guess what? You change the locks to the devil's locks. Then he has the key to get in. When you sin, you remove the righteous lock of God and you put the sinful lock of Satan. And that's how he's able to get in. Remember that. When you sin, the Bible says you open the door. Don't the Bible say that? You never thought about that? But what door am I opening? Your door. The locks drop. God righteous locks come off. And the devil come and put his new lock on there. It's like you move in a new house and you want to change the locks. So the old person won't have access. Devil come and change the locks to remove the access of God. But God can override the devil, but God will not override your will. If you sinned and opened the door for him to come in and change the locks, and God was like, oh, well, I'll wait for them to repent, come back, then I'll change the lock again. Oh, you'll know if they're in your house. People arguing all the time. You'll hear strange noises, strange movements, strange knocking. You'll see white orbs or black orbs. Stuff will be breaking down in your house constantly. Your car will be breaking down. You'll feel this heaviness. You'll feel depressed, stress. Sometimes you'll be lazy, sleepy. You don't want to read the Bible anymore, or you have a hard time praying. You don't feel the move of God anymore. You don't feel his glory anymore. What else? Rats and roaches. Number one sign and of witchcraft. Rats, roaches, fungus. Because fungus is in the Bible. What else? Like if you go outside, let's say you got a mat. That's another thing. If you're going to put a mat in front of your house or in the back of your house, do not put welcome. Just get a mat that don't have no words on it. Like I have mats that have no words on it. Get a mat that has no word on it. If you have mats that have welcome on it, right, you need to throw them away. Or if you could get a mat that says, this is Jesus' house, or this is God's house, or this is the anointing of God, fine. But don't get nothing that says welcome, come on in. Because the demons look at that as you're welcome. Daddy told me this. I told you, Pat, this like 2 years ago. And we got rid of them welcome mats. Never look back. Went right to Ross. Got some news. Because God said, Rosalind, do you know you welcome the enemy in? I'm like, really? Or you see those big signs in front of people's houses on the porch, welcome. Daddy said, you're inviting the enemy in. Get rid of him. And he said, anoint under the mat when you get the new one and anoint the mat. Let's say you go outside and you see a mat moved. Now, if you don't have a lawn, if you didn't have your lawn done that day, or you didn't have any maintenance done that day, or maybe the FedEx or the UPS guy could have moved it by, interacting and stuff. But if you see it just move beyond where it should be, that's a sure sign there's a witch around and she's trying to put something in front of your door. Like the witches next door, they moved. Daddy said they would break their lease and move because the heat would be so bad. He said they would get in car accidents, and they did. I saw their cars crushed and everything, right? I told y'all about how I opened the back door and it was 3 chicken bones right by my mat. I thought maybe I dropped them. But then the next day they came back. I said, okay, witch in my midst, started praying. Went to sleep that night. God showed me the witch, right? Sent everything back. Do you know the Amazon man came and had left a package for me, right? I guess he didn't see it. But when I picked the package up, do you know 3 bones was next to my mat again? So I had to get some anointing oil. I had to clean the house. I had to go around the house. And then Daddy was like, you're going to see the car crash. Looked outside. The whole car was crashed up. They didn't have a car for like 2-3 weeks. Then Daddy was like, they're not going to speak to you anymore. I'll come out. They would turn their heads. Daddy said, this is January. He said, Rosalind, when did they move in here? I said, March of last year. He said, they're going to break their lease. They're going to be gone before February 2nd. They was gone February 1st, y'all. And they left that house in disarray because the owner brought somebody here with this big old dump truck full of stuff. Then another one came today full of stuff because they didn't even know they had moved because their lease was up in March. They left that house terrible. And Daddy said, they moved because of you. I said, no way, Daddy. He said, yeah, wait. They moved because of you. Because you did not see what was going on in that house. But I let you see the car crash. And I let you see that they wouldn't speak to you anymore. But you didn't see what else went in their house. And they knew it was because of you. I said, Daddy, they should have checked beforehand. They shouldn't have let the devil make them think that they could just come buck Willie on your baby. They should have checked. They wouldn't have had the trouble. They would be like, we ain't messing with her. But they tried. And he said they moved because of me. I was shocked. I was floored. I said, because of me? He said, huh? He said, you don't know what was going on in that house. I let you see the car. I let you see them not speak to you. But I didn't let you see what was going on in the house. And they moved like at nighttime. They moved. It was the 30th and the 31st. Late at night, they was moving because I heard some noise and I went in my other room. I went to the bathroom. I went to my room and they had a U-Haul truck moving. And then that February 1st, that morning, they were gone. I said, Daddy, you said it. I said, you said it. What? Don't play with God's babies. We his babies. I used to have, well, you remember me from where? Billy Nine. I don't know what you're talking about. What? My mat. You better throw them mats away that have welcome, or those big old signs that have welcomes, or on your door that have welcomes. And Daddy said, like, you know, when the pagan Christmas time come, and people be putting the mistletoe and wreaths on their door, you're inviting the incubus succubus demons in. And when you celebrate Valentine's Day, you're inviting the incubus succubus in. So you better watch Valentine's Day and Christmas, because the mistletoe, you're supposed to be kissing under the mistletoe. You're inviting incubus succubus in, because it's pagan and you shouldn't be celebrating it. That's why a lot of people get incubus. Sometimes people don't get incubus and succubus from bloodline or from having sex from other people. They do it because they celebrate that pagan Christmas. And when you bring in a tree, you symbolize in the forest. So any demons in the forest are welcome in. St. Patrick's Day, the little dwarf. When you celebrate that, you're welcoming him in. And he's not going to give you luck. He's going to give you bad luck. See, St. Patrick's Day is supposed to be for luck. But them little dwarfy green lever things, they will come in your house, come in your life, and give you bad luck. And people still celebrate it. When you believe in the, what's the thing, the gopher? I think that's what they call him. When he comes out, I think if he, what does it mean? If he comes out, it's going to be 6 weeks early summer. And if he stays in, 6 extra weeks of winter. Every time they do that, and he stays in, and they 6 weeks winter, you have the worst storms ever. When he comes out and they say 6 weeks of early weather, you have the hottest weather ever, because it's pagan. You brought it on yourself. Y'all told me this. Y'all gotta stop believing these little pagan things. You guys stop. And when you celebrate these presidents and these holidays, you know, if your job give you the day off, oh well, but you celebrating them days, you idolizing, you putting an idol before God, and that's one of the commandments. You're not to idolize anything. All these things, Mother's Day, Father's Day, you're idolizing your mother. You're idolizing your father. And you want to know why Mother's Day is here? Because the Roman emperor got tired of the mothers coming to him, complaining and crying about their sons dying in wars or whatever, right? So he decided to give them a day of mourning. It used to be called Mother's Mourning, but they tricked you and changed it to Mother's Day. Do your research. I got a book called The Truth About Christmas on Barnes & Nobles. Wrote it about 5 years ago. It has all of the holidays in them and what they mean. They got a big old Santa on it. I anointed the book so Santa won't come in your house. All right. But it used to call it Mother's Day Mourning. And they took the morning off. So when you celebrate Mother's Day and you bring your mother all these gifts and this and that, guess what? You're mourning her. You're sentencing her to an early demise. You're sentencing her to an early death. Father's Day, same thing. A lot of the fathers were crying to the emperor about their sons dying. So he called it Father's Mourning Day. So and you notice fathers don't get it like the Mother's Day, but if you do celebrate it for your father, grandfather, grandmother, whatever, you're giving them early demise. You're shaving time off of them, because you're basically giving them things to mourn them. So if I was you, I wouldn't be doing Father's Day and Mother's Day anymore. Birthdays, I stopped doing those in 2012 because the Lord said, birthdays, you idolize yourself. You're putting yourself before him, and you don't want to do that. He said, call them happy seasons. And he said, if you want to give a gift all year round. Don't wait until that day and do it. And do not celebrate. Don't have parties or nothing, because you are self-idolizing yourself before me. You are putting yourself before me, the Lord said. I ain't doing that. I'm not putting myself before God. When you get your kids these little parties, Sweet 16 parties, you putting yourself before God. The 4th of July. That came because of some great Roman war or something. It happened, and a lot of Romans died, and many people were, crying and this and that. So he made it a mourning day, calling it it wasn't called the 4th of July, Independence Day. It was called something else. But from the war, it made something to do with Rome independent. And this is why they call it Independent Day. They make you think it's for America. No, boo. That holiday was around before America was even found. Don't be fooled. A Thanksgiving Day, you should never celebrate that. That was the most massacre ever done to Christians and pilgrims. Back in that day, pilgrims were Christians, but they were different kind of Christians. They're like the ones in they were like Mormons, but they were more Christian than the Mormons are today. And they lived with the Christians. They lived with the Christians. They lived as one together. But the Roman Empire, the papacy, the Knights Templars, it wasn't Masonic, Knights Templars, something else, because I got the book on it, killed a lot of Christians and pilgrims that day. And it was a day of grieving. And what they would do is, you know how when you go to a funeral, you bury somebody, you go to somebody's house and they fix food for you and everybody eat and reminisce about the person? So they made that kind of day, but it wasn't called Thanksgiving. It was called Mourning Something Day. And where they would make big feasts to reminisce about the loved ones that passed away. But then here we is in America and other places. They say, hey, let's turn this into Thanksgiving Day so they could be grieving dead folks, so they could have untimely deaths. Because do you know when you grieve dead folks and you put them before God, you shave time off your life. You get married, your husband died, you keep his urns in your house for 10 years. You say you're never going to get married again. You dedicate yourself to the dead man in the urn. You will die early. You ain't supposed to be living with the dead. You ain't supposed to be living with the dead. Oh, it's called The Truth About Christmas. It's on Barnes & Nobles. Just go to my link tree under my lives. Click on my link tree. Then click on the Apostle Rosalind Solomon. I think it's under that one. But if it's not, it's under the Rosalind Solomon link. It's a big old Santa on it. But y'all covered because I prayed about it. and it's called The Truth About Christmas. And it's every pagan holiday in there, what they really, really mean. And they did this on purpose so people could die untimely. Look how many people get killed during Christmas. Look how many people get killed during Thanksgiving. Look how many people get killed during New Year's. Do you know New Year's comes from an orgy god? A wine orgy god. There was a god. He was a wine god. He caused people to get drunk. There was another god called the orgy god, who would cause people to have all kinds of orgies. Then there's another god called the New Year's resolution god. He would have people make resolutions, which was really vows and promises they never kept. And in the book of Ezekiel, it says, when you don't keep vows and promises, it's a sin. And that could cast you into fire. And people run out there and celebrate Thanksgiving. And New Year's. And so many people die during that time. Why do you think that happens? Why do you think a lot of people die during Halloween? Why do you think a lot of children get missing during Halloween? That's an evil day. That's when all the Goonies and demons and everything come out. Then you putting yourself in costumes, putting your kids in costume. Guess what? You look just like that in the spiritual room from then on. So if you want to be a cat during Halloween, that's what you're going to be in spirit realm. Until somebody like me comes along and tell you to repent for celebrating Halloween, repent for wearing those masks and costumes, repent for putting your kids out there, letting them eat candy and all that stuff from strangers that witches could have prayed over and you don't even know, and your kids could have been eating demons and curses. Repent for dressing your children up like that and changing their identity in the spiritual realm. Repent for making yourself dress up like that and changing your identity in the spiritual realm. You want to know? You cat lovers and you dog lovers, don't take this the wrong way. But God told me this a long time ago. Because I love animals. But God said I love animals because in the past life, I was like an animal doctor. And we carry a lot of our traits from our past lives with us into our lives. So I said, that's why I love animals. And my daughter wanted to be an animal doctor. So she turned like 18 and she changed her mind. Then I had another little cousin became an animal doctor. So it was there, right? So let's say you like cats. I usually didn't like cats. I couldn't stand cats, but I fell in love with them the past couple of years, right? I was always a dog person. So let's say you like cats. So much to the point where you got like 8, 9, 10 of them, 3, 4, 5 of them. You probably could have wore a cat costume, or in your past life, you could have wore a cat costume and you never repented for celebrating Halloween and you became a cat in the spirit realm. Dog, cat, dog, same way. Birds, same way. Because you have some people, they just have like 8 and 10 dogs, 8 and 10 cats, 7 and 9 birds, obsessively. It's because they're carrying a trait in them from their past life or the life they're in, and somehow or another, they either dressed up like it, something crazy happened, and they became like it in the spiritual realm, and that's why they like it so much. I'm not saying you can't have cats, 2 or 3, but anything past 2 or 3, that's ridiculous. Dogs, birds, that's ridiculous. I'm like, Daddy, are you serious? Like, yeah. Because cat people exist. I showed them to you. They walk and talk just like us. Dog people too. Look at the Egyptian lyrics with the black people, and you saw the white people being servants, and then you saw the dog thing. That wasn't no dog costume. That was a dog person. Don't want no head thing. That was a real dog. And then the cat people, they were real. Do you know the black cat was the most honored cat? The black cat was the queen and kings of cats. But the devil teach you not to have black cats. Talking about their bad luck. He don't want nobody to have no black cats in their house or no black dogs. Because he know the black dog is the king. Black queen and the cat. Any animal that's black. Black Panther. Why you think they the most beautiful, most sleek animal? Black bears, most fierce. So if you have a black cat, they will, all cats protect you. When you find a cat, the cat was sent to you. So all cats will protect you because, God protects you, but the cats see in the spiritual realm. They ward off mice, witches, all kinds of stuff. But you still got to anoint them, right? But when you got a black cat, or a black dog, So if you're about to get a cat or a dog, get you a black one. Daddy told me that. That's why I had a black cat. I'm going to get another one. And I always had black dogs, German Shepherds, with little beige in them. Always liked them. Look at the Egyptian relics. You'll see cat people, what were they? Black, dark. You'll see the dog people, what were they? Black, dark. Darker than this hair. And they're magical and mystical. But God is the one to protect us. But the cats, they will sense evil. They will ward off evil. You'll keep witches out of your house, but you got to anoint your cats so the witches can't attach to them. You won't have no mice, rats, nothing. Anybody come in your house that ain't right, they will attack them. Claw the crap out of them. Dogs will just bark, 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 bark. They all do it. All cats and dogs do that. But specifically, the black cats and black dogs are way more mystical and better in the spirit realm. You have a black and white cat. Do you know white cats are the most weakest? And that's why Satan has taught humans to love white cats. They are the weakest. Do you know if you put a white cat with orange cat, now they have to grow up together to like each other. So if you put a white cat with cats that never knew, those cats will attack that white cat. Because it senses its weakness. White cats are the most weakest in the spiritual realm. That's why I would never get a white cat. So if you have a white cat, don't go tossing them away. Just pray over him or her. Just be like, God, can you strengthen my cat? Can you make my cat to be able to sense things in the spirit realm like a black cat would, or an orange cat, or a ginger cat, or a brown cat? You know what I mean? You can pray for God to put strength in the white cat. Yeah, it's called the cat distribution system. When cats come, when they find you or you find them, they're usually sent by the Lord. They usually are, because They need a home. They could die out there. They could be killed by other dogs and other cats or other animals. And God wants to save that kitty. And animals also can bring you joy and happiness. They're bad. They can tear up stuff, but you got to train them. But animals can bring you joy and happiness, especially if you live alone and sometimes you feel lonely. If you have a dog or a cat, you know, a bird, a parakeet or something, they will fill up your days. You won't be lonely. They will. That's why you see people on YouTube and stuff. They have cat channels, and some are married, some got boyfriend, girlfriend, and some aren't. Some just happy. There's a man on Instagram right now. Every time he get a girlfriend, it don't last because he loves his cat so much. And you could tell he loves his cat, and he's so content with the cat. He's like, I pray to God I found a cat person. My cat. He said, because I'm not giving up my cat. I was like, wow, he a handsome man too. I was like, wow, right? So cats can really change your life. Dogs, any kind of domestic animal can really change your life. Like, look at these people making buku money, making a lot of money on TikTok, YouTube, all these places because they show their cats. They get more hits than I ever could get, right? And when I put cat videos on, look how y'all go crazy. I got one that got 2 million hits alone, right? So they can bring you finance, they can bring you prosperity, you know. And when you and when you find a cat, a stray cat, or it finds you, you got to take it to the vet, make sure it's healthy, it's okay. You got to anoint it with oil, at least anoint it with oil once a week. You know, don't put it around the mouth part because they'll lick it. And they lick themselves. So that's why you would just put a little bit on them. Just a little bit because they lick themselves. So just like, and dogs can lick themselves too. So you just put a little bit, like on their back coat and maybe on their head because they can't really lick their head too much, right? And you could spray them with the holy water. I told y'all Psalms 103 and 102, I believe. And get you some alkaline water. But you got to have an altar in your house to let it sit for 3 days, right? Somewhere. And you can spray that on them anytime you want to, really. You know, it can refresh them. And it keeps them anointed. And you pray over them like you would pray over your own kids. Because people don't pray over their animals, and that's the witches and stuff be getting in them. Yeah, pray over it when it's probably got a demon. I seen a lady cast a demon out her cat. The demon the cat manifested. So, you know, y'all, you need to grab your cats and dogs, put a little anointing oil over after you pray over them, spray them with some water, and be like, Father, in the name of Jesus, anything that has gone to this cat that you did not put in there, I command it to come out right now. Go to the foot of Yah to receive its destructional judgment. It can never come back again. Go! And cat, you on whatever, act crazy, something coming out. Then you fill a cat out with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the one that painted the cats. She the one that painted the animals. They're part of your house. Daddy told me when you put an animal in your house, that's your kid. That's your child. And when you like when storms come, hurricanes come, or people get evicted and they leave their animals, that's like leaving a child behind. You're responsible. If you leave your cat, because you can't take the cat with you, you have to pray and be like, Father, in the name of Jesus, I cannot take the cat with me where I'm going because of what happened. Or I can't afford to feed the cat anymore because of what happened. And can you please forgive me for taking it to the shelter? If the shelter don't take it, then I'll have to leave it on somebody's porch or leave it here on the street, which I don't want to do, Daddy, but I can't feed it anymore. I can't afford it anymore. I can't keep it anymore. May you please forgive me and make sure that this cat or these kittens find a home to someone that can take care of them. Why do you think kittens show up on your property or your business, or you find a kitten, or you go to a shelter with somebody and you come out with a kitten? Because Daddy didn't assign those animals to you because whoever had them previously prayed over the mother or the father that had the cats with them, that somebody would find them and take care of them. I see all the time on these social medias how people find the mama and all the cats, the babies, and take them to the shelter. That's because somebody prayed. Somebody dropped them off in a box and prayed that somebody would find them. And God answers. Now, mind you, a lot of cats die. They get killed. Like there was this one little cat the other day, the lady was driving and somebody left the cat on the highway and he was able to climb up on the stone and he was sitting there. And if he would have made one move, he'd have fell to his death. This lady stopped 40 inches away from him and went and got his butt. Went and got him a little kitten. That's so cruel. If you don't want the cats, I've seen it where people left the kittens in a plastic bag tied up where they can't breathe on a highway for a car to run over them. I've seen a man put a cat in a plastic bag and put him in a dumpster that he couldn't get out of, and they rescued him. So if you don't want your animals, that's fine. But when you be cruel to them like that, guess what? Someone's going to be cruel to you like that. And you take time off of your life, the Lord told me. You just pray to him, Father, I can't afford the cat no more. I'm going to put the cat here. Can you take care of the cat? Can you make sure some people feed the cat? Can you make sure somebody finds the cat and the cat won't die? God will abide and do that. Just don't be abandoning them, throwing them on the highway. Garbage men found 6 kittens in the garbage can. And they arrested the lady. Why would you do that? That's like children. Would you throw your kid in the garbage? Yeah, some people do. Would you throw your kid in the highway? Would you do that? I understand you might not can't afford the animal no more, bad weather, whatever. But pray and ask God what you should do with the animal. Pray and ask God to help the animal find a home. Don't just do that. You shave time off your life. He said it. He said when we take animals, it's like taking children. We're responsible for them. Ups and downs were. We find out cats after the hurricane. They were see, somebody prayed over them cats to be found. And Daddy loves animals. Him and Mama made them. They love them. Even the bears and the lion, they love them. The birds, they love them. They created them. You know, he treats the animals like he would treat us. All right, I gotta go, y'all. This was a blast. And Mama Roo had me teaching y'all stuff I wasn't gonna teach y'all. I got a lot of nuggets in me, y'all. You'll be sure. All right, so I will be seeing you soon. Yes, our cats fight a lot. Our white cat tries to attack our black one. Because he or she trying to get dominance. Yeah, demons can possess animals. Why do you think when you have a dream and Yadabal comes as a lion, or you have a dream and the witch comes as a cat, or the witch comes as a mouse? Because what they do is, I taught this before, if they want to shapeshift as a mouse or a rat or a cow dog, they go and find a stray animal. They actually go and catch a rat, and they have to keep it alive, and they sacrifice it in a ritual, and they become that animal. So they can shapeshift. It's crazy. It's crazy. How do you think demons can become human? They've sacrificed many humans. You have to see, in order for the demonic realm to do anything, it has to be sacrificed. It has to be bloodshed. In our kingdom, all we need is prayer. I love you too. God bless you. Bye-bye. May God call back a bit. Amen. You still said it right. They're both connected just in their work. Yeah, Apostle should. What? I gotta look up Purim. I've heard of that Purim before. I know. I told y'all anyway. And if you got the Scepter, you know this. God said those holidays that the Israel people celebrate over there in Israel, those are not his holidays. Get the Scepter. The Scepter Bible. It's like you can go on eBay and get them. They got edition 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? You can go on Amazon too. And it will tell you the true Hebrew holidays of God. The one they celebrate over there are not of the Lord. He told me that. I told you that years ago. All right. So I'll see my members tomorrow or Saturday. Look for me tomorrow, Saturday, like between 12 and 1. If so, not tomorrow, then Saturday. And then I got these 5 books to give away. All right. So love you guys. See you soon. And keep me in prayer as I do you. Shalom.